Alright, so our first thing we're going to be doing to get ready for Southeastern Truck National is I'm going to completely rework this bed. I'm not really happy with the way it's turned out. I'm not really wanting the raised bed floor look. I'm going to drop this thing down so it can be more of a usable height. First thing we've done is cut a piece of 1 by, looks like 3" maybe here, and that's going to be running across, which I'll get you guys in here in just a second. Without further ado, me and Luke are going to start ripping and tearing on this thing and start cutting all of my hard work that I've already put in out. Here comes Layla.
Come here, puppy! Get.
Alright, so we have this piece in right now. As you can see, it's probably around 8 inches. At least that's what Luke's measuring, which who knows, you know, he's always saying that kind of stuff. God!
Dead.
Apparently they didn't like that joke. We are going to be substantially lower than if we just did like the traditional raised bed floor that everybody's kind of doing right now, so pretty excited about that, because like I was saying, we're going to be trying to get some toolboxes, coolers, probably a spare tire in this thing, and all that good stuff. So what I'm going to do now, obviously have to clean up around here where the old rust and all that good stuff is, and then we can start establishing a little bit of a tack in a couple places here. No way. You're not wearing those, are you? Luke's gonna put a couple tacks on here now. Alrighty, now that Luke has got all this tacked in for us, we're gonna go ahead and come in here and measure from this piece we just tacked in over to our existing frame. That way it ties everything in, so when we get ready to start dropping all this, nothing seems to want to just kind of give out. So it is the next day, and we got all these in the other night. So the next thing I'm going to be doing, basically replicating this top bar down here, but I'm just going to go on either side of this and kind of build off of it. That way, whenever we do cut all this, we're not going to worry about the bed trying to drop down or anything, because it's going to basically be the exact same thing we got right now when we cut this. Get over here to the saw, try to cut us some metal here, and then get all this stuff welded in. Alright, now that I've got this upper bar completely leveled out with the rest of our little frame that we've got going here, I'm going to go ahead and establish a couple tacks on this thing, just so it won't go anywhere whenever we get ready to build out from here. So I went ahead and eliminated on these pieces because I needed them to make these 2 pieces here. Went ahead, got that one fit up, and I'm working on getting this one fit up. This is my Fireball Tool Square. If you've never heard of them, you can look them up. I think it is fireballtools.com. Not sponsored by them in any kind of way. This is going to kick out, basically make these 2 pieces be on the same plane because they're bolted down. And then it's got also a couple cool features here. You can do a 45. You can see in here you could have another 90-degree angle, and then it's got that cutout in there so you could even get your joint running down. But that's enough of all that. I'm gonna go in here, try to fully weld most of this stuff, and then we can start getting this top structure out of our way. That's why you don't weld in tennis shoes. Lord Jesus. Alright, so we got the old pretty much bed structure out of the way now, and hopefully you guys can kind of start seeing what's going on with this. This is going to be our bed floor, and basically from where this comes, I'm just going to shoot straight over here, and then we're going to have wood all the way along this whole panel here, and then eventually we'll have wheel tubs that come back into this back panel, which is also going to get lowered. But I'm not sure if it'll be lowered by Southeastern Truck Nationals. I want to get this for sure lowered by Southeastern Truck Nationals so I can haul tools and all that good stuff back here. So that's probably going to wrap it up for tonight, but I'll see you guys in the morning. Alrighty, so it has been a day or two, I think, since I've had you guys on in the camera world, but my wife and I, she so gladly sanded all this for me. And I'm very grateful that while I went ahead and finished up this frame and got the upper frame out of the way, now I'm just kind of starting to slowly get all of this kind of in place. Boards right here, that's where they are going to reside. From here, I'm going to kind of do something different. My game plan is hopefully to cut this one just a little long, and then I'm going to get a jigsaw and kind of taper this thing in to this outer board so it's not just a straight 90 like it is currently. It'll kind of just feather into this outer board. Alrighty, now I've got all my pieces cut here for my wood bed, and as you can see, I've started cutting some of these like slats that come with like for a stock bed. They're the big sections over here. They actually came with the 66 GMC that I've got. I'm cutting them up right now and using them for the 64. I mean, they make more, so I can always order something else. Alrighty, so I've got all these bed strips cut and in place. So now what I'm trying to figure out is how I'm gonna fasten everything, because like in the factory kit that you would use these for, none of those slats are here, so I'm kind of going off what I've already got underneath the truck. Alrighty, so what I have came up with, I think, is I'm going to basically come down through here on the front and back side of these. I'm going to lay everything back in here again, and then we're going to be drilling up through the bottom side of this 1x3 here and the 1x1 square tube all the way through. And then I've got some, I think they're called cabinet screws. I don't know, it's something woodworking related that I have no idea about. So basically it's just screws I'm going to try to be popping up through the bottom of this thing here, and then hopefully securing the wood. And then we'll be getting anchor bolts, or not anchor bolts, but can't think of the name right now. Then we'll be getting bolts going through the individual railing, and I'll put like kind of a fender washer on that and clamp all that together. Alright, so as you can see, I just went through here and measured basically on center on both of these where we're going to need to drill into these boards. Alright, so for me, the way that I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to establish how wide this is, which we're going to go right here. This is a 3-inch wide piece of tubing, so half of 3 inch is going to be 1.5 inches, so I'm going to set up my square here, 1.5 inches, lock that down. If you come here, put your marker, whatever you're going to be using, on the other side of it, and just kind of start going down through here. That's going to get you 1.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Obviously this is going to be 1 inch. You know what half of 1 inch is? 3/4. But anyway, my math is pretty terrible, so I'm not going to sit here and try to flex on that. I'm going to get this marked out and drilled out, and hopefully we can get some wood back down on this thing. So these are the screws I'm going to be using. It's called a cabinet screw. It's a 8x1.25 inches. It even came with the bit, so you know that's pretty high quality stuff. You get the idea. Alright, now that I've got everything repositioned back in the bed here, I'm going to go ahead, get underneath here and start shooting us some screws in these boards so they can be held in place. Slip underneath here real quick and start screwing the boards. There it is. Alright, so we've got all the boards screwed down, I guess screwed up, which it probably is. I have all the screws coming up through the bottom holding these boards in place now. So what I'm going to do with our rails here, I'm going to get these 1/4-inch carriage bolts here, which are going to go down through the top here, and they fit right into these little square pegs, which I'll get you a close up here in just a second. But I'm going to start setting these down through where they're going to go. Alright, so here is my idea that I have, and hopefully it'll work. We're going to be taking a fender washer here and installing it like so, and then we'll be putting the nut on there. So what that's going to do is it's going to pull these two pieces together from the bottom and the top, and hopefully just making that whole piece a lot more rigid. Oh, it's been a long couple weeks here. But here is my cabinet screws that came up from the bottom side here that I was kind of telling you guys about. So that's basically what's holding these to the actual panel, and then like I was saying, this is just going to kind of tie everything together, which it's already tied together through this, but this will be just a little added reassurance, hopefully. Alright, so I've got the bed all the way reassembled. As you can see throughout here, some of these bolts do not line up, and I know that bugs me a little bit too, but for what I've got going on right now, it's gonna have to work because I don't have time to come through here and fill all those holes in, re-drill and all that stuff, so that'll be something I do later on. But as you can see, I've got my old school cooler over there, and that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted this truck to be able to haul stuff down to Southeastern Truck Nationals because I'm going to be driving this truck 3 hours, and I need something to be able to sit back here because there's not much usable space in this bed. So making this is my primary goal. So that's going to wrap it up. I'm not going to be able to stain this and all that stuff because I am in a time constraint right now. When you see this video, hopefully the truck and myself is sitting in Southeastern Truck Nationals, Lebanon, Tennessee. And if you're watching this and you do attend the show, come by and say hey if you don't care. But thanks for hanging in here as always, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.